When I was younger, I loved creepypasta, and even now, I still love it. But there is one creepypasta that I remember, and I have never been able to forget, that has been lost, and I can't seem to find it. This is the Chao Miscarriage creepypasta. Sonic was one of my favorite things as a child, so obviously I loved Sonic creepypasta. You had your classics that I loved, like Sonic.exe, Tails Doll, and Sonic 3 Hacked cartridge, but still, there is one that always stuck in my mind, one that I always remembered every few months. It was the Chao Miscarriage story. However, unfortunately, the story is lost, as I've already said. I've asked a ton of my friends if they remember it, and they can't. Even ones who were in the Sonic and creepypasta fandom around the same time I was, can't seem to remember it. But maybe, hopefully, somebody watching this video remembers this story, or at least remembers the video the story came from. So this is how the story went. But first, cue that Sonic Adventure 2 City Escape footage. Much better. So here's how I remember the story going. The creator used to be a big Sonic fan, but after a string of bad games, I kind of dropped off of it. But one day, they got nostalgic and decided to play Sonic Adventure 2, and when they got to the Chao Garden, they were hooked. They spent weeks playing the Chao Garden, and then they got an egg. I don't remember if it was from the black market or whatever. I've never played Sonic Adventure 2's Chao Garden for that long, so I'm not sure how you get the eggs. But either way, they got an egg, and they spent like hours trying to hatch it, but it would never come out. So they decided to just throw it at a wall/cliffside, and it broke open. But what was in the egg wasn't a normal Chao. It was covered in blood and not fully developed, and it had a halo above its head, which isn't something Chaos usually have. That's exclusive for dead Chaos, you see. Remember what, if anything else, happened after this point, though? I wish I did, but I'm pretty sure at this point the creator put the image on the screen, and I got freaked out and decided to close out of the video and never open it again. Now, I know what the meaner of you in the comments are thinking. That's the creepypasta you never forgot? That's kind of very generic, and yeah, you're right. It is kind of very generic, but I watched that video at a point in my life where the specific contents of a Chao Miscarriage would have really messed with my head, and I'm not comfortable getting into what that time was like for me, so don't ask. But also, I blame the picture being scary. It was like kind of gross and off-putting. It wasn't like an edited picture from the game. It was a entirely new drawing. It was obviously 2D, but it was in like a painterly style, I think. It might have been that, or that semi-realistic anime style that a lot of AIs are stealing nowadays. By the way, if you're watching this, don't replicate the drawing with AI, please. I'm very afraid that I'm going to talk about this story and someone's gonna have the idea to replicate the picture of AI. Don't do that, please. Anyways, the drawing featured a dead Chao in its egg. It was covered in blood and its eyes were black pits. And its head was like lopsided or had a big dent in it. I don't remember which, but I remember it was one of those. And the drawing I have on the screen right now is not the one I remember. I made it myself, as you can tell, because it's bad. But this is just so you have a general idea of what the picture could have looked like. Now, I was illiterate as a child, so I had to watch a reading of the story on YouTube. But eventually, when I learned how to read, I wanted to try tracking down the creepypasta again, because by that time, the story had already been deleted from the guy's channel, and I couldn't even find the guy's channel at all. So, when I checked the creepypasta wiki, it wasn't there, and when I checked the Sonic Oddities wiki, it wasn't there. So I'm not sure if it was ever even uploaded to either of those places, and I'm not sure what other creepypasta sites it could have been uploaded to. Now, I do remember some details about the story, but not that many really. So, the person who was reading this story had, like, a kind of deep masculine voice. Not, like, the deepest in the world, but they certainly didn't sound effeminate, at least. And the footage they used in the background was from Sonic Adventure 2, either from the beginning of City Escape, or just Chao Garden footage. I don't remember which, but I remember that it was one of those two. Now, I have done a few searches for it, and none of my searches have yielded many results. So that's why I have to make this video, and that's where I leave it up to you. Until I can get more info or leads on the search. But, you know, you can also help. Please somebody help me look for this. But before I leave you off, I need to make one quick note. In all of my searches, there's been one story that just keeps coming up that is 100% absolutely not the story I'm looking for. It's called Salar, S-A-L-A-R, the Chao. The story follows somebody getting a glitchy Chao in SA2, and when the Chao hatched, it killed all of the narrator's Chaos, and then some other stuff happens. I don't know, man. You can probably tell, it doesn't have a lot in common with the story I'm looking for, but they're both about glitchy Chao eggs. So anytime I try looking for it, I just keep getting results for Salar the Chao or Solar the Chao, so I don't know. Either way, I hope somebody is willing to help me in my search, and goodbye. I bid you adieu.